Hey guys, my name is Emily if you haven't seen my face before, and today I'm going to be making a perfume haul from the Dua brand. I have already done a couple hauls from the Dua brand, so if you want to check those out, I'll leave that playlist in the cards above for you guys. If you guys aren't familiar with the Dua brand, they are a perfume house that does quite a few dupes, but also has a lot of perfumes that are original. So if you are looking for a more affordable alternative to a lot of your favorite designer or niche fragrances, it might be worth it to check out Dua to see if they have an alternative that is more affordable. All of Dua's fragrances are extrait de parfum, I think is how you say it. Basically, they have more concentration of the perfume oil in there, so the fragrances tend to project and last quite a bit, and sometimes that can be a really big selling point if you really like an expensive perfume but it doesn't have the lasting power or the projection. This might be a better option. This video is not sponsored. I always buy Dua perfume with my own money, but I now do have an affiliate link and a code if you guys would like to save 15% off from your purchase if you'd like to support a smaller YouTube channel. But that is completely up to you. I will leave that in the description below, as well as on the screen if you guys are interested. Before we jump into the fragrances I have, I do want to mention what my perfume preferences are in case you guys haven't seen any of my perfume videos before. I am definitely more of a gourmand, fruity kind of girl. I do not like floral perfumes that much, nor do I like really spicy perfumes. I'm definitely more of the fluffy, light, fruity, but sweet kind of vibes. So keep that in mind. And all of the perfumes I'm talking about, I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinions of. There may be perfumes that I'm talking about that you've tried and you love that I don't like, or there might be perfumes that I am crazy about that might not be it for you, and that's totally fine. All of us have different preferences. I definitely do not have a crazy perfume collection by any means. I don't have bottles and bottles and bottles because I always like to try perfumes and make sure I really love them before I purchase a full bottle, and a really good way to do that is with decants. So I do have 10 decants to talk about with you guys from a brand that I will leave down below. You guys can check out that link if you want to purchase some Dua fragrances in decants instead of committing to a full bottle first. And I also have a full bottle that I will talk about with you guys at the end of the video. And this one should be no surprise to you if you have seen my other videos. So without further ado, let's jump into the first Dua fragrance that I have to talk about. The first fragrance that I have to talk about with you guys is called Strawberry Milkshake. Here's what the decant bottles look like. As you can see, I have barely touched this one. And this is considered a unisex gourmand. The notes are fresh farm strawberries, strawberry milk, whipped cream, and white musk. This is also a Dua original. I'm starting with this one to get it out of the way because I cannot stand the smell of this one at all. I've sprayed it once and that was enough for me. I've not been able to pick it up since. This does not smell like a strawberry milkshake to me at all. There may be a little hint of some kind of fruitiness in there, but it's overwhelmed by this really gross smell that I have smelled before in a couple of Dua fragrances, specifically Peach Mojito and Strawberry Daiquiri. There was something in there that I just could not get past. I thought before it might have been like a rum note in there that bothered me with the other ones, but it's the exact same smell that I'm getting from this. So I'm pretty sure now this must be musk. So I think Dua's musk, for me at least, can go hit or miss sometimes. There's musk in fragrances and I don't really mind it. But in these ones, I can't deal with it. So this one is a definite pass for me. I was unfortunately disappointed with this because Strawberry Milkshake just sounded really delicious to me. And it just seemed like it would have everything I would really like with the sweetness and the fruitiness. But unfortunately, this one is a no for me. Up next, I have a dupe of Rouge Trafalgar, I think is how you say it, by Dior. And this one is called Trafalgar In Red. I haven't used very much of this one either. And this is considered a unisex chipper fruity fragrance, or chip. I don't really know how you say that word. I've never seen it before. But anyways, the notes in this one are raspberry, strawberry, cherry, mandarin orange, blackcurrant, grapefruit, musk, and patchouli. So it is definitely more of a fruity leaning fragrance. This one to me is not a bad perfume. If anything, I think it's a very perfumey. This one to me is definitely not a bad perfume by any means. If anything, it is just a very perfumey perfume. It just smells like perfume to me. And I can't really make out any specific notes. It all just kind of blends together in my opinion. And it is a pleasant perfume, but it's not something that I would be crazy about, again, because it just smells like perfume and it doesn't really have much complexity, I guess, or anything that really sticks out to me that I would smell and be like, ooh, this smells really good. If anything, it's just kind of average smelling. I don't know if this is close to the original because I haven't smelled the original, but this one is not a love for me, so I would also pass on this. But if you have smelled the original and were curious about maybe purchasing a cheaper alternative, I would check this one out because maybe that scent profile is more up your alley. Up next, I have Cotton Candy de Dua, and this one doesn't have that much left, so I have used quite a bit of this little decant here. This is considered to be a unisex gourmand, and the notes are cotton candy, spun sugar, vanilla, and white musks. There aren't too many notes going on in this one. This perfume is actually one that I do enjoy. It kind of reminds me of Britney Spears' Fantasy, but better. It does have that kind of cotton candy cupcake vibe, so it's definitely sweet. If you aren't a fan of sweet fragrances, I don't recommend this one by any means. It's a nice, pleasant sweetness, and I don't know if I would want a full bottle of this, but this is something that I would be open to maybe getting a travel size version of in the future if I don't find another cotton candy fragrance that I really like. I have heard that there's a few different niche houses that have really good cotton candy fragrances, so I'm interested to try. Specifically this one, I'm gonna put a picture up on the screen. If you guys have tried this one, let me know. And I'm very curious to see if this one would be better than this because this one has piqued my interest. It's fun, it's girly, it's flirty, and I think it's a really nice summer perfume, but you can't go too heavy on this because I think it could be cloying since it is very, very sweet and there's nothing really toning down that sweetness. It is just straight up sugary cotton candy. But if that's what you're looking for, then this one is a good one to try out. Up next, I have Cake and Pastries. This is another Dua original. This is considered to be another unisex gourmand, and the notes in this one are cherry, chocolate, milky notes, jasmine, iris, heliotrope, tonka beans, vanilla, and white musk. Whenever I first smelled this one, I actually really liked it, and I thought it was a really unique fragrance, and it was definitely gourmand and sweet and cakey, and I was a big fan of it. But as it dried down, that weird muskiness that I smelled in Strawberry Milkshake started to come out, and it just kind of overwhelmed the fragrance at the same time as it was getting too sweet. So I like the opening of this, but a few minutes later, I couldn't stomach it. I had to wash it off. So this is another pass for me, unfortunately. I was really excited because Cake and Pastries also sounded like a delicious combo. This is another one that the notes kind of blend together and I can't really pick apart anything specifically. And now that I've had that experience with it, as soon as I smell it, I just smell overwhelmingly cloying sweetness. So this is another pass for me, unfortunately. Up next, I have Pink Graffiti, and this is not quite gone, but we're getting there. This is inspired by Sexy Graffiti by Escada. It's considered to be a feminine fruity floral with the notes of strawberry, raspberry, mint, grapefruit, peony, violet, lily of the valley, cashmere wood, musk, and vanilla. If you are new to my channel, I have talked quite a bit about my love for Escada perfumes. If you've never heard of Escada perfumes, they usually drop at least one perfume every summer to be like their summer fragrance, and then the next year they'll release another, and by that time, the one that was the previous year will be really hard to get, so it's limited edition, but they also have some other perfumes that tend to stick around a bit longer. Most of them are eau de toilette, so they don't unfortunately have the best lasting power or projection, but they usually tend to be fruity, summery, bright fragrances. Some of them have some florals in there as well. And this is one of the ones that was very popular that I never got to try. So I really wanted to see what this one would smell like. And I was a bit worried because of those heavier floral notes that were listed. And like I talked about before, I'm not a floral girly. So I was nervous, but I was still excited. I gave this a go. And as you can see, I've actually worn this one quite a few times. It is a very pretty perfume, and the fruitiness is there. I can definitely smell the raspberries and the strawberries, and the mint in it actually tones it down a little bit. It gives it more of a fresher vibe compared to being a super sugary sweet. And the florals in there are definitely present. Unfortunately, the florals are a little bit too much for me, but I do still think this perfume is pleasant. I enjoyed wearing it while I did. I just wouldn't need a full bottle of this. This kind of gave me my fix for this fragrance, but like I said, it's really, really pretty. And if you are a floral girly or you like fruity florals, this is one that I would check out. If you can't get your hands on the original, definitely check this one out, especially if you have tried the original and you miss it and you can't get your hands on it anymore. go for this one because it smells really, really pretty. The next fragrance I have is called Eccentric Gourmand. This was actually inspired by a perfume I have never heard of, and I don't know how to pronounce this name. Sedan by Slumber House. This is considered to be a unisex fruity floral, and the notes are strawberry, ambergris, damask rose, white wine, and woodsy notes. This is definitely a unique fragrance. I don't think I've ever smelled something that has white wine in it. And the white wine is definitely prominent. It's different. I don't know if I really like it, but I think some people can appreciate this if you definitely are more of a fan of white wine. Personally, I'm not a big wine girl. I'm definitely more into cocktails, but this one is still a pretty fragrance. It's interesting and it's unique. It's just not necessarily something that I think I would reach for. I think the white wine kind of tones down the sweetness of maybe like the strawberry note in there because it doesn't come across as a very sweet fragrance. This is definitely one that has more complexity to it too with the woodsy notes. This is just not going to be for me though. I gave it a shot and it's just not my favorite. So this is another one I would pass on. But if you guys, again, are interested in trying a dupe of that original, maybe this one might be for you. The next perfume I have to talk about is called Era of Vanilla. This one definitely has more of a richer colored juice. This is a Dua original and it is listed as a unisex gourmand. The notes are bourbon vanilla, Madagascar vanilla, vanilla orchid, vanilla sugar, sandalwood, cashmere wood, lilac, heliotrope, musk, vanilla milk, and aldehydes. This is definitely an interesting vanilla. It's not something that I dislike by any means, but it does really remind me of another perfume I have called Alexandra Short. This is also by Dua and I have used quite a bit of this. This is also what the full-size bottles look like if you haven't seen them before yet. But this one was my all-time favorite Dua fragrance. It has been since dethroned by something else I'm going to talk about in this video. These two actually do have quite a few notes that are similar. Alexandra Short has more of a citrus note when it opens, and then it dries down to more of a vanilla, whereas Era of Vanilla comes across more florally in that opening, which makes sense because there are more floral notes in this. I do have to say I prefer this one more because of that floral opening I'm not crazy about, but if you can't get this one and you were looking for something similar, I think this would be a good alternative. So if you already have Alexandra Short, I don't think you really need to get Era of Vanilla, and vice versa. They're both so similar that I don't think it's needed to have both unless you are a really big vanilla fan and you want to collect them all. By all means, knock yourself out, but I think they're similar enough that you can get away with just having one. Up next, I have a Chocolate Affair. This one is actually one of Dua's more expensive perfumes. Most of them have the same bottle, the same size, and the same price, but this one is a little bit more expensive. So I was curious to see if this would smell better than a couple of the other perfumes that I've tried that are from Dua that have chocolate notes. I have two more after this one to talk about, but this is the first one up. This is considered to be a unisex gourmand, and the notes are Sicilian bergamot, bitter orange, cacao, tonka beans, steamed hot chocolate, chocolate liqueur, chocolate cognac, chocolate infused coffee, and white musk. So this to me is definitely more of a powdery chocolate. It's a lot less creamy and sugary and sweet than you would expect from a traditional chocolate fragrance. It has more of a sophisticated kind of vibe. And I also think this comes across as a little bit more masculine than feminine. Whenever I have this on my skin and I smell right up against myself, I can tell that there's chocolate in it, but whenever I just smell this in the air, I couldn't even pick up the chocolate note. That's how subtle it is. I have tried a chocolate fragrance by them called High on Chocolate in my first Dua haul, which was absolutely awful. It smelled like trash to me. This is not as bad as that one, but it is definitely my second least favorite out of all the chocolate fragrances from Dua that I've tried. But if you do like a more subtle chocolate scent and something that leans a little bit more masculine, maybe try this out, but it's definitely not one that I'm crazy about by any means. The second chocolate fragrance I have is called Choco Milk Treat. This is a Dua original and it's considered to be a unisex gourmand. The notes are chocolate, caramel, tonka bean, vanilla, praline, milky notes, amber, and musk. This is definitely more of a warm chocolate scent and it's more creamy for sure than a Chocolate Affair. It has definitely like a sweet and sticky kind of vibe, like melted chocolate almost. And I do like this one. I don't think this is a bad fragrance by any means, especially if you are looking for something that is based around chocolate. This is a good one. It just doesn't hit me the same way as Belgian Choco Peach Truffle, which I have been obsessed with and it's been vaulted and I really want to get my hands on it. whenever the vault opens, but that one is kind of the standard chocolate fragrance that I've tried from Dua and in general that I am obsessed with and I really, really love. And I basically compare every chocolate scent to it. I know I shouldn't because they're all different, but this one doesn't hit as good as that one does in my opinion, but this is a straight up chocolate scent. It's not mixed with anything else. So keep in mind, if that's what you're looking for, this might be a good one if you are looking for that warm, sweet kind of chocolate. It doesn't come across as very powdery. It comes across as sticky and melted and sweet. So if that's the kind of chocolate you're looking for, maybe check this one out. The last decant that I have to talk about with you guys is called Belgian Choco Zest Truffle. This is a hybrid between a Dua original called Belgian Choco Truffle and a perfume by Mugler that's called Men Ultra Zest, I think. I don't think I've ever heard of that one either, so I don't know what that one really smells like, but this is a hybrid between both of those fragrances. It's considered to be a unisex gourmand, and the notes are blood orange, Belgian milk chocolate, chocolate liqueur, almonds, plum, orange liqueur, tangerine, ginger, mint, cinnamon, coffee, black pepper, tonka bean, patchouli, caramel, and vanilla. So this has a lot going on. I think that's the most notes out of all of the fragrances we've talked about so far. I think the chocolate and the citrusy notes in this really blend together nicely. I don't feel like it's too harsh or too bitter by any means, but it is more of a toned down chocolate compared to the last one since it does have a lot of other notes in there. If you are looking for specifically a citrus kind of chocolate, I think this is a good one to go with because they do play together really, really nicely. It's definitely sweet, but this one is a lot more unisex, I think, than the last one that we talked about. The chocolate in here is a little bit more powdery, I think, than the last one, whereas Milk Choco Treat, it was very sticky and sweet and melted. This chocolate seems like you grated off some chocolate from a chocolate bar and you mix it in with some orange peels, I guess. That's the best way I could describe it. It's a nice, pleasant chocolate scent, and I do really like this one, but again, it does not hit as good as Belgian Choco Peach Truffle, which is also a hybrid between Belgian Choco Truffle like this one, but it's a hybrid with Bitter Peach by Tom Ford. And so this one is good, but I don't love it as much. If I can never get my hands on Belgian Choco Peach Truffle, maybe I'll get a full bottle of this, but I'm gonna keep my hopes up. Next time the vault opens, I'm getting in there, but I will keep my eye on this one just in case. And the last perfume that I have to talk about with you guys is the full-size bottle of Princeless Princess. This is a dupe of I Don't Need a Prince by My Side to Be a Princess by Kilian, or just Princess by Kilian. It does have a long name, so a lot of people just call this Princess. I have talked about this before in my last Dua haul, but in case you were curious, this is a unisex amber vanilla, and the notes are lemon, green tea, ginger, peach, hedion or hedion, not sure how to say that word, jasmine, apple, marshmallow, vanilla, and benzoin. This one is amazing. I spent a lot of time venting about how much I love this in the Dua haul that I did last time, so definitely go check that video out as well. But this one is such a beautiful fragrance. The sweet notes of the marshmallow play really nice with the green tea and the ginger, and it's beautiful. I love this. I'm obsessed. This honestly has become my signature fragrance. I've worn this now quite a bit. I just got this and we're already starting a dent. I wear this almost every time I reach for a perfume right now. I'm obsessed. I can't get enough of this. I went through my full travel size and I had to get this because it's so, so good. This is such a good pretty girl perfume if you're looking for something that's sweet but not cloying and is really balanced out with freshness but is still a sweet perfume. This one is really good for you. I do not like fresh perfumes at all. This though is a little bit of freshness that's just the right amount to make this not cloying and not overwhelming. I've got compliments on this already and I love it. It's become my favorite perfume right now, which I'm sure I've already said by now. If you can't tell already, you need to check this out. It lasts, it projects, it's so, so good. I'm obsessed. If you tried anything from this video, please try this. If you haven't tried the original Kilian, try this. If you have, try this anyway. It's so good, it's cheaper than the original, and it is amazing. It'll blow your mind. please try it. Obviously, this is the star of the haul. I love this one the most, and I haven't found another full bottle worthy fragrance out of the perfumes that I've tried, but there are some runner-ups, so I'll keep my eyes on those ones. Definitely let me know down below if you've tried any of the perfumes I've talked about, or if you have any perfume recommendations from Dua that I haven't tried yet that you think I might like. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to, you can go ahead and leave a like, a comment, or subscribe if you want, and I will see you next time. Thanks guys. Bye. God bless.